we've got Martha as well, who is who's our marketing manager. So we've lots of people in with us now this evening, so an afternoon or morning, wherever you are located, because we do have a global audience, which is fantastic. I'm going to say for the last time, but Happy New Year to you all. So we are still in January. We missed our December webinar because everyone was very busy doing December things. But now we're back in January, and it is time to look at the year ahead and really what is a new year on the Camino, and that's what we're going to chat about today. So if you want to carry on, please. We could run through the agenda. Don't really need to run through it because we'll actually talk about it as we go. But yeah, we're going to go through some new bit of new information, new details about what we're doing and what's out there and what can you expect in 2026 on the Camino. So essentially, just a bit of background about CaminoWays itself. Thanks, Martha. So hopefully you've joined us on our system or made an account with us. You might have a quote. If you don't have a quote and you're thinking about doing it, send us an email, or you can create a quote on our website, CaminoWays.com. So essentially what we do is we do walking and cycling packages on the Camino de Santiago and the Via Francigena. That's the Camino to Rome. On that, we offer you accommodation, which is all at hotels. So the accommodation we offer is hotels. So you have private ensuite rooms. And then luggage transfer as well. So while you're walking or cycling, we'll pick up your bag and bring it to your next hotel. And we also can provide extras like airport transfers. So we'll pick you up from your arrival airport as long as it's within around 250 kilometers and bring you to your starting location and then bring you back as well. Guided, so we have a suite of guided tours that we offer every year on specific locations and specific dates. So that's obviously you join a group of people with one of our guides. But what most people do is self-guided. So with that, you can pick your own start, end point, pick your own dates. All dates are open. Add in the extras should you wish. And then we provide you with our online tour portal as well once when you're booked. And with that, you get all the information of where you need to be, what you're doing, the hotels booked, how the luggage transfers work, live mapping as well that you download to your phone. So that's all there. We also work with lots of groups. So if you have a group or you're putting a group together, whether you're a group of friends, walking club, business, family, all sorts of different universities we work with as well. So all sorts of groups from all over the world come and walk the Camino. While you're walking the Camino, we offer you 24-hour assistance, which is the number you can call should you have any issues, and we pride ourselves on getting those issues sorted out very quickly. So that's just a quick brief about what we do. And then for the Camino itself, I'm sure you all know where it is, but just a quick reminder that it is mostly in Spain, but also we have routes coming through Portugal, which is very naturally because it's beside Spain, then coming down through France as well. But generally, it all happens in Spain. We have the most popular route, the Camino Frances, starting in France for one day in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, crossing the Pyrenees, and then you have 760 kilometers to walk to Santiago de Compostela. The second most popular would be the Camino Coastal and the Central Way. That's coming up from Lisbon to Porto. And in Porto is split between the Coastal and Central Way. And there's also another variant, which we'll go through later. And then we have the Norte, the Camino del Norte at the top. So Bilbao, Santander, stunning city, San Sebastian, following the coast. And then you cut down inland into Santiago, a very long route as well, but really stunning. And we also do the Via Francigena in Italy, which is essentially the Camino to Rome. It does start in the UK, crosses all the way across France, across the Alps, down into Italy, but we only do the section from Siena, so that's Lucca, through Siena and through Lucca into Siena, and then down into Rome itself. So it's about 3 weeks walking, and that's a really stunning route. The minute you mention Siena, definitely people want to go on that. So moving on then. So our first real subject of what's happening in 2026 is that for a long time we didn't include what's known as the Central Way, the Camino Central. And what we've done is we've presented the Camino Portuguese and its three variants, as we call them. So there's three different routes of the Camino. And the first one is the coastal. So again, the Camino Portuguese runs from Lisbon right up to Porto, but mainly people walk it from Porto, which is about 2 weeks into Santiago. The coastal is extremely popular and becoming more so because you get that mix of coastal and inland walking. You have the stunning seafood. You have, again, a mix of Portugal and Spain when you're walking it. You're on the Atlantic seaboard, so yeah, most the end of most of every day you can pop down to the beach and go for a swim, which is kind of unique and lovely. And that's the coastal way. The central way, which goes more inland from Porto up to Tui and then on to Santiago, is a lot more cultural. You have that kind of, I suppose, you get the traditional Portuguese farmlands, and then into Santiago and into Galicia, south of Santiago, and walking through there. They do join back up together. The both the coastal and the central, so you will come back together around Pontevedra. So they're not completely split. So you will get a sample of both. But that's that little map that Martha just put up there. So that's fantastic. And the Central Way is actually the second most popular route of the Camino of all people who book and walk the Camino. The first is obviously the French way from Sarri Santiago. That's what most people walk. But the Central Way is the second most popular, with the Portuguese coastal way coming up well behind it. There's another variant called the spiritual route, which kind of cuts off from the coastal way and keeps you on the coast for a bit longer. And there's a day where you kind of walk to the estuary, and you get on the boat and you go 2 hours down the estuary, and then you hop off the boat and you walk to your next destination, which is Padron. And why is it called the spiritual ways? Generally because a legend would have it that that's where St. James sailed down to arrive into the area, also where they brought his body back, and which is carried his body from Padron up into Santiago. So that's obviously a very spiritual way, and very well known, and becoming more popular because you actually get more days on the coast. And I think that's a fantastic route as well. So if you're going onto the website, you'll see that Portuguese way now split into three variants, and you do have the option of walking one of the three. You can't really mix them up because you can't go from the central to the coastal, but you can pick one of those three. So that's very exciting and new for us for 2026. It's not new for the Camino, of course, but it's definitely new for us. And then we move on. Of course, the Camino, a lot of people, especially walking for the first time, that want to know what is the most popular routes and where to walk and what to do. So, and we love people to go out and explore the outline routes, but reality is that most people will, when they first come, they want to walk one of these three. So, just quickly, the three most popular routes on the Camino is the first one, as I mentioned earlier, was the Camino Frances. The full route coming from Saint Jean Pied de Port, crossing the Pyrenees in one day down into Spain, and a couple of days you'll be in Pamplona, a very stunning city, and then you spend the next 700 kilometers walking across Spain through amazing cities like Burgos, Leon, Sahagún, eventually arriving into Sarria, which is the last 100 kilometers of the Camino, French way, and Sarria Santiago is definitely the most walked of all the Caminos from Sarria Santiago. People say it's very busy and you shouldn't go at certain times. That's really not true if you book with us, because obviously we have all your accommodation, luggage transfer, and services sorted out. And people say it's busy because they're trying to book hostels, and you can't pre-book hostels in most cases. So people rush to get to the next destination in order for them to get a bed. And that's why people sometimes say it's very busy. It's not really. You don't have crowds on the routes. Yes, there are people and there's great atmosphere on the route, but that really adds to the experience. The second most popular, as I said earlier, was the Portuguese coastal way or central way. That's coming from Porto up into Santiago. If you want to do the last 100 kilometers, you can just about see the border of Spain and Portugal there. And from there, it's about 100 kilometers into Santiago. So you can either pick Vigo on the coastal way or Bayona on the coastal way, which is one day longer. And that'll take you, 5 to 6 days walking into Santiago, or a little bit inland from Tui into Santiago. And both of those routes are extremely popular. So yeah, you have great choices there. And then the third, we'll talk about the coastal and the central as one, but the third is and becoming more and more popular for lots of very good reasons is the Camino del Norte. So either walking from Santander to Bilbao, or Bilbao to San Sebastian, or sorry, the other way around, San Sebastian to Bilbao, and then Bilbao to Santander. Three iconic cities of Spain. I mean, really, fantastic food, excellent area, and then you have that stunning scenery of walking on the coast between the cities. So it's for me, it's a really popular route. Get the best of both worlds with food, scenery, and sea. And then if you want to continue on that route, it's another, I think, 500-600 kilometers across the northern coast, and then eventually cutting down into Santiago de Compostela. Definitely more rural, definitely more for the adventurous. Days are a little bit longer, but if you're looking for a different and popular Camino to do, this is definitely the one that you should be looking at. So they're the three most popular routes. So the well, I know people can't see the presentation. Apologies for that. But for the Via Francigena, if you there we are, we're back now. So if you can just go down to the map, you have below in two slides, I think. Yeah, so the Via Francigena is in Italy. So the first week you walk in Rome, or sorry, you walk through Siena, or sorry, through Tuscany, and it is a pleasure to walk through Tuscany. Honestly, the amazing food, scenery, people. They have a bit of a bad habit of they had a bad habit of building their ancient towns on tops of hills. So the end of each day is quite challenging because you have to walk up a hill to get into the town, but they really are stunning, extremely traditional, and it's fantastic walking. And then you continue on through kind of the lower lands of sorry, we've lost the presentation again. I'm not really sure why, Martha, but maybe you could just block that out. Thank you. Walking into Rome is extremely special as well because, again, Rome is a massively touristic city. But, having walked into Rome with your backpack and having to spend weeks walking there, you really do feel part of it. So that's really amazing. The other route is the Camino Inglés. So uh, that's up the north coast as well, north of Santiago de Compostela. So we're back on the Camino essentially. And the Camino Inglés is the English way, as it's known. So why is because mainly because from England and Ireland back in ancient times, we used to get boats down to this area of Spain and then walk very quickly 100 kilometers into Santiago. And you can either do that from a town called La Coruña, which is a bit shorter, about 75 kilometers, or Ferrol, which is just over 100 kilometers, and they come together to finish in Santiago. So it's becoming again a popular route. Very rural. You get a bit of coastal as well. Plus these areas of Spain on the north coast are becoming more and more popular. So the quality of hotels and everything are very good. But then you get that real rustic rural experience as you're coming down off the coast and towards Santiago de Compostela. And you have the joy of finishing in Santiago de Compostela and earning your certificate. So it's a really fantastic route, the Camino Inglés, and one definitely to be considered even if you're a newbie. But if you've done it and if you're looking for something else, this is a great route. Route to Vincent Gina, so Cape St Vincent. So the very south of Portugal, there in that little corner at the end is Cape St Vincent, and that is the most westerly point of Europe, and very, very famous for surfing. I don't know if any of you surfed or into surfing, but it's where you see those amazing pictures of the lighthouse and these humongous waves that sweep across the Atlantic from the US towards the western seaboard, and they seem to hit Cape St. Vincent. So it's an incredibly famous location for surfers. Very remote, but it's great. Now, this route south of Lisbon kind of connects up with the Camino and also with another route called the Via Algarviana, which goes along the south of Portugal. But we don't provide that route yet, but we do this Cape St. Vincent. The route of Vincent. So this is really stunning walking through a kind of UNESCO area, which is sand dunes and marshes, but the walking route itself is very stable and good. Very rural, rustic accommodation. You really do feel you're out there. And the area is famous for migrating birds, scenery, a stunning coastal walking as well. So it's a great route. Very popular for Europeans to come and walk it. Not as widely known elsewhere, but if you're looking for something a bit different, something to do, this is definitely one of our hidden gems and one of my favorites. Um, Moving on, I just want to talk about our guided and self-guided because I mentioned that we do both. So self-guided is what most people do. And as I said, when you travel with us, we give you all the tools that you need to walk the routes, like the maps, e-maps. We have the walking notes where your hotels are, airport transfers should you need them. But with groups as well, or so guided tours. Then you will join a group. Now, the group can be made up of anything from 12 to 18 people. And mostly English speaking. We rarely get people who are not English speaking. So Irish, English, US, Canadian, Australian, and all are welcome. And with that group, you'll have a guide. So the guide will be local, but will be absolutely fluent in English, so no problem there. And everything else is the same. We pick up your bags and bring them to the next hotel. The airport transfers actually are not included, but we can add them in. I know it says included there, but they're not, but we can add those airport transfers in. And we do have all our dates are published on our website. So generally, our guided tours or on the most popular ways. So we do it on Sarria Santiago on the French way. We do the Portuguese way from Vigo to Santiago. We have a couple on the Finisterre way, which we haven't talked about this evening, but that's from Santiago out to Finisterre, which is west of Santiago. And then we also have some on the Via Francigena. So I think the dates are on the next slide. Yeah, so you see the dates there, and essentially you just go onto our website, CaminoWays.com. At the top, you'll see Camino guided tours, and you just click on the date and you type in if you're one, two, three, four people, whatever, and ask for a quotation. It'll give you an immediate quotation as usual. You can do that for self-guided as well. So yeah, and you can see, for instance, on the Portuguese way, May the 30th, that's for ladies only. That's been extremely popular. We started that a couple of years ago, and it always fills up very quickly. On the Camino Frances, some of the highlights we've got again, May the 30th, we also have a ladies only, but on July 18th, that's the St. James's Day special. So St. James's Day is celebrated on the 26th of July in Santiago de Compostela and globally. But it's an amazing it's amazing to be in Santiago de Compostela for St. James's Day for obvious reasons. There's lots of celebrations, parades, fireworks, lots going on. So it's a really good one to go on. And yeah, again, if you have questions or you want our guided tours, about our self-guided tours, about putting a group together, we have a dedicated team of people that you can chat to on the phone, have a webinar, have a live video meeting like this. We can do this one-on-one. It's on our contact details on our website of how to do that. Or you can just email us and we'll get back to you with all your answers. We're moving on there. Yeah, and travel light is something that people talk about, ask about, and want to know a lot about. A lot of people when they walk the Camino, they will do it self-supported. And they'll carry their own backpack, and that's why they grumble a lot and they'll have bad feet and blisters. So we take all that pain away from you, and that's why we pick up your bag and we bring it to the next hotel for each or every day you walk or cycle. It is optional. You can remove it's added to the itinerary. It's included normally, but you can take it off if you wish, but definitely advise you not to. And it works really that we ask you that you have your bag down in the lobby around 8 o'clock in the morning. That does not mean you have to check out. You still have your day bag. You can still have use in your room, but our transfer team will come and pick up your bags and bring them to the next hotel. The luggage tags, we just ask that you pop your name and luggage tag on your bag on the first morning. Our team will then put a more permanent tag on your bag, and that'll be there for the duration of your walk or cycle. And if there's any issues when you get to the other side, the next hotels, if for any reason your bag may not be there, that's an example of where you give the assistance number a call. And it can happen. It just might be a bit delayed. And we're very good at letting you know exactly what it's going to be. And it's usually within a half an hour or so. We do have weight limits. It's 20 kgs per bag. It's becoming more challenging to keep that, but we're lobbying with our providers that that's what it is. And also the bag type can be any type at the moment. There's might be an exception with that in Italy coming down the line, but because now they're asking for a size bag which equals the size of the airlines are doing, but we'll see how that goes. It's an extremely reliable service, I have to say. I'm very proud of it. We very rarely have issues with it, but anytime we do, you pick up that assistance phone. Okay, thank you. There's one big thing that's happening on the Camino in 2026, and that's the eclipse. So I don't know if you've heard about this, but yes, there is an eclipse happening. So it's a full eclipse, and you can see on the map the zone of where it's happening. So it's happening very much across the French way and the northern way. So there's great activity and interest around this because obviously, these are once in a lifetime events. And I think to experience an eclipse on the Camino would be extremely special. If you're trekking, walking the Camino, and that's when you experience the eclipse, I think you'll never forget it as long as you live. So the eclipse is happening around the 12th of August. And if you're in the kind of the central points of the French way, so Burgos, Lyon, Astorga, Ponferrada, any of those locations, you can pick as I said, with our system, you can pick where you want to start and finish, the number of days you want to walk. So you can pick any section really, and within those areas, and you're going to get a view of the eclipse. That's going to be amazing. And yeah, it just says there, don't forget your eclipse glasses. So make sure that you have because if you're out in the middle of the area where you're walking and suddenly you need your glasses to witness the eclipse. You might not get the best of it, but yes, this is getting a lot of attention. Obviously, I think there was an eclipse in the US a couple of years ago that tracked across the US from pretty much from north to south, and I looked at the line and I was fascinated because every hotel on that line was booked out a year in advance, and people couldn't get bookings on the actual location of the eclipse. So it's fascinating, actually. Not sure it'll have that same effect in Spain, but it's definitely going to be busy. So if you're thinking about it, book early. And yeah, and then just for first-time pilgrims, if it is your first time going on the Camino, and it's definitely if it's your first time doing anything like this, I mean, the Camino is accessible to everybody, really, but it is a challenge. I mean, don't forget you have to walk or cycle. So generally, when you're walking, you're cycling an average of 20 kilometers a day. Now that's never exact. There's always a bit longer or a bit shorter depending on the geography of the area. With cycling, we probably do 45, 55 kilometers per day. Um, um, and it's a challenge, but we have people from 8 to 80 doing the Camino, and it's really amazing. Um, I think the best advice I can give is definitely train in advance. So if you are doing the Camino, get out there, do your hikes, do your cycles, wear your backpack, put a bit of extra weight in the backpack so it doesn't feel as bad when you're actually there. um, be brutal with your packing. You don't need 3/4 of the stuff that you always pack, and I think every traveler knows that, especially when they're going an activity-based experience. If we're putting something in your case and you're kind of thinking about it, then don't put it in your case because if you're thinking about it, you don't need it. Um, and Yeah, footwear extremely important. Hiking boots, you're not going up any mountains or over rough terrain, so you don't need stiff-soled hiking boots. The best footwear is flexible soled trail shoes or approach shoes, or they're sometimes known. Every country has great outdoor stores, and these stores are the guys in these stores know exactly what they're talking about, and they're the people to talk to. Tell them what you're doing. Tell them you're doing the Camino. They know the gear to give you. So in America, you've got the REI stores. In UK, you've got Blacks and Cotswolds, and in Ireland, you've got 53 Degrees North. So they're the professionals. They also know they sell lots of Camino gear to Camino walkers, and they really know what they're talking about. Um, it says here that the Camino is very safe. Yeah, I've been doing this for 15 years, just over 15 years. And I have to say, I've traveled the world, but I have to say the Camino is so safe, it's so welcoming. Even the even the locals, they applaud people doing the Camino. They look after you. They'll help you. There's great camaraderie within the walkers themselves. That's not to say you should always be aware and careful about what is going on around you, especially when you go into the cities, because the minute you enter the city, you become a member of the city population, not so much a Camino walker. You still will be, but there's plenty of them. But you're also a member of everyone else in that city, so you just need to be aware of what is going around you. It's really important that you walk at your own pace as well, because if you walk outside of your pace, too fast, too slow, yeah, that can cause injuries. So just keep within your own pace, keep within your own ability. That's very, very important. And for breaks, for every hour you walk, you should take 10, 15 minutes and then take a good long lunch break. Never worry about the distance. You have all day to get there. There's no rush to get there. Um, and some days you get there late, some days you get there early, and that's not a problem. That's part of the experience. Obviously, staying hydrated is vitally important. And yeah, so we do have lots of information on our website. So on our website, CaminoWays.com, in the top right-hand corner, there's a magnifying glass. That's a search. Click that, ask it a question. It should give you an answer. We also have an AI chat box on our website. It's not connected to the web; it's connected to our website. So all the information you get from that is directly written and presented by us. Martha does a huge amount of that, and hopefully it's all accurate. But we've 800 pages of information. We've ebooks on fitness guides, gear guides, everything. But again, we are here available to talk to you over the phone, on one-to-one video chats, or on email as well. So we'll give you expert advice. So I think that's it. We have a Q&A, and I know there's been a few questions popping in there, so possibly Martha can shout the questions, and I'll do my best to answer.
Of course. Hi everyone, sorry for the technical issues. We'll go through the questions. Feel free to drop it on the chat anytime. So the first one, Jeremy, is please tell us about daily distances to be walked, elevation, and hours that need on the Portuguese Camino, average, maximum.
Yeah, I mean that's quite specific and quite hard to tell you the specifics. If you go onto our website and go to the specific route, there's a map, and the map will tell you the ascents and descents for each day. So you just run your cursor along the route, and it actually tells you the ascents and descents. The Camino in general, it's always undulating, so you're always moving up and down. There's never any huge elevations over 200, 300 meters. There are some days, this is not on the Portuguese way, but there are some days, obviously, where you might be tougher. But I think it's important to remember you're always walking up and down. It's never flat. And the average kilometers per day, as I said, is about 20 kilometers per day. Now, some days can be shorter and some days can be longer. And depending which route you're doing, you could have days of up to 28 kilometers. But on some routes, we do offer split days, which means that if it's a long, long day, like 28, 30 kilometers, you can actually add in another stopover, which splits the day in two. It adds one night to your experience and trip, but we can do that as well in some areas, not in all areas.
Thank you. There's a question about the Camino Inglés 75 kilometers route that we have in our website. How did you get your certificate? Can you get a different one?
Unfortunately, no. And I might need to have to clarify that. If you walk from Ferrol, you do get your certificate. If you walk from A Coruña, you don't. But to be honest with you, I would just hand in my passport and say, I've walked from A Coruña. It's not, yeah, it's not a technical stipulation, and a lot of people behind the counter in the passport office will probably give you the certificate. So, there's no written law. It's just what they say essentially. But don't be giving out to me if they say you can't have it as well. But I would give it a go. And that Coruña is a great place to start from. It's a great city.
Thank you. What about bathrooms facilities during the Camino?
Well, I mean, you are walking through a country. It is a trail. They don't put public loos on it, unfortunately. But there are plenty of restaurants and cafes that have developed on the trail. And so there are many locations where you can stop and go in and just ask, be polite. They've no problem with you using the facilities if you're not eating food or buying something from there. But you'll probably always buy something because the water or energy bar or something, you probably will buy something. But yes, there's plenty of places available en route. I suppose one of the not nice things about the Camino is there's lots of people run behind bushes and leave their tissues there. And if anyone has ever done any kind of trekking in a country, whether it's in remote areas or not, the thing is you burn your tissues after you've relieved yourself essentially. So, but people don't on the Camino, and it's one of the many things we've actually sponsored people to do cleanups on the routes. That's one thing, but there are plenty of places to stop.
Thank you. Is there any water available on the routes? I think you already mentioned that there is plenty of cafes and
Yeah,
restaurants, Camino, as well as fountains.
it's the same, but I would always have 2 liters topped up. 3 liters is a lot to carry, but you never know what's going to happen. Just never know. And a liter is probably fine. I'm probably over asking that, but yes, I would always have at least a liter bottle. And when you're drinking water and when you're hiking at any time, it's sip, 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 not drink loads. So consistent sipping is much better because if you drink a load, that's when you're going to need the loo. So take consistent sips all the time, never too much, and then your body will absorb the water much better.
Thank you. Best way to get from Lisbon Airport to Porto on a self-guided tour? Bus, train?
Yeah, I mean, there's a fantastic website. Write this down, everybody. Rome2Rio.com. So it's ROME, the number two, Rio, RIO.com. You can literally put in any address, any point, and it's where you're going from, where you're going to, and it's going to give you accurate, precise information of how to get from point A to point B. It's excellent. The best way from from Lisbon to Porto is definitely by train. For me, you can fly as well, but it's a very short flight. But yeah, train is the best.
Thank you. What is the kind of transportation from Santiago Airport to Sarria?
Well, number one, we can offer private airport transfers if you're booking with us. If you walk out of the airport, there's a line of taxis. There's also plenty of buses to Sarria, and you can get the bus into Santiago as well, so in about 15 minutes and get the train out to Sarri as well. So yes, there's lots and lots of options. Again, Rome to Rio is your friend.
Thank you. We have another one. I think I limited to going in July. How is that time of the year? Is that too hot?
Depending on where you're from and what kind of weather you're used to and what you're used to hiking in, it's northern Spain. So unless there's a weather event like a heat wave, it never gets too hot. So you're never really getting anywhere above 30 degrees. Yes, you can have a heat wave in July for sure, but you can also have the opposite. You could also have lower temperatures and rain. I think July is absolutely fine, but it's more likely you'll have warmer weather than colder weather. But as I said, it's northern Spain. It's vastly different. It's very green. It does rain quite a bit. It's not like southern Spain where it gets up to 40 degrees. It's not going to go. It shouldn't go above 30 degrees unless it's a heat wave.
Thank you. We have another one from Sarah. Can you get dual pilgrim certification doing the Camino del Norte?
A dual pilgrim certification. I don't really understand that there is only one. So you don't get the French way certificate, you just get the Camino certificate. They do ask you if you've done it for religious reasons or not. So you can either get a religious certificate or non-religious certificate. And you can get both should you wish.
Thank you. We have another one from Joe. We have put down a deposit for the Norte route starting in Santander, ending in Santiago on August 15. Trip starts in July 31st. Is the trip guaranteed with the deposit?
Absolutely, yes. So, yeah, I mean, we start once when you pay deposit, we immediately start working on your trip. It's absolutely guaranteed. And, again, we've been doing this for 15 years and we've never had a problem with that. So, yeah, there's no problem there whatsoever. Once you pay the deposit, that very same day, within reason, we start working on all your reservations, all your services, everything we booked up and within 3 to 5 days.
Thank you. Another one from Patricia. We'll have a rental car before, during, and after our work. Recommendation on where to park in Santiago de Compostela at the end.
A difficult one. There are public car parks, but obviously you pay for them. The rental car before, during, and after work. So you want to park your car while you're walking, I'm assuming. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure. There are public car parks in Santiago. Just Google them. But maybe the airport might be the best place to leave it, or maybe you just release the hire and then hire another car back. It'll save you some money. But possibly the airport. But there's definitely public car parks in Santiago train station for one. But you have to pay a daily rate, so it could get expensive.
Thank you. Are the hotels on the Portuguese coastal route the same as the littoral route?
Are the maps, well, the map guides you on whichever route you're on. So with our maps, you get the full Camino when you download it. You just have to zone in on the route you're on, and you follow that route, and it'll follow you as if it was their Google Maps. So it follows you as if you were driving. So it's the same thing, but yes, it zones in on you zone in on the actual route. You'll be marked by your little blue dot, and you follow the route, and the route is well marked, and you'll be able to see.
Okay. And next, is there a ballpark or an average price estimate they using your full service and using your self-guided service in US dollars, please?
Yeah, so when you get it, like I mean, it's price per day, and it's all tailored. So when you go into our website, CaminoWays.com, you pick your start point, your start location, start date, many people are going. Press give me a quote, and it'll have it instantaneous. At the bottom of the quote, we invoice in euros, and the pricing is in euros, but there's also an option to change the currency. So you can change the currency to any common currency in the world, including US dollars. So you can see the price equivalent in US dollars. Now you will pay in euro, and also it is index linked, but it may not exactly be correct on the currency exchange, but it should be within pence or cents.
Thank you. Is there a cottage option for the Portugal coastal route, or are they all hotels?
So not as much on that route, definitely not. There's a few, but not many. So if you pick country cottages option on the Portuguese coastal way, you'll be given the options where they are, and otherwise you'll just have the standard hotels where they're not. So yeah.
Do you provide any kind of travel insurance?
Well, travel insurance should be bought from a travel insurance provider. We're experts in travel and providing packages on the Camino. We are not experts in travel insurance. Never buy travel insurance from a travel company because we're not travel insurers, and you don't know what you're buying if you buy travel insurance from a travel company. I've been in this business for 25 years, doing outward bound treks of all kinds. I've seen insurance work at its best. And the minute you book your tour, if you book your tour today, you purchase your travel insurance today. Always buy from a local provider for the simple reason that number one, you know what you're buying, you know what it covers. And also, if you need repatriation, i.e., if you need to be picked up and brought back to your country, they're the best people to do it for you. So I think it's very, and also if you can't travel due to reasons outside of your control or a global event, you'll get your money back. So that's very important and vital. You should buy your travel insurance when you book, and you should buy it from a local to you provider.
Thank you. What are the cancellation terms?
They're on our website. So if you go into the search and just ask for our terms and conditions, you'll see all our cancellation terms. A bit complicated to run through them now and a bit long, but they're very general as you would be booking with any tour operator.
Thank you. Is there a way to ballpark like beginning week of French way, then last portion from Sarria to Santiago, and have transportation through the middle portion?
Yeah, you just email us, tell us your plans, and we'll send you back the itinerary and the plan for you to do that. Just tell us where you want to start and finish and where you want to restart again. Just be careful with the transfer because it is 700 kilometers. So if you walk in the first section of the French way, like from Saint Jean to Pamplona, and then you're transferring to Sarria, it's 600 kilometers. So it's a very long transfer. Probably best to get a train. But we'll advise you on that. So just let us know your plans.
Thank you. Another one, we are active people in our 70s. Which route would you recommend be best for us? Are the rest day permitted to be scheduled at the time we are on the route?
So yes, I mean, as I said before, the Camino routes are very similar day to day. If it's your first time, I'd definitely be picking one of the routes within 100 kilometers of Santiago, so either the French way, Portuguese way. They're fantastic routes, well resourced. Because you follow an itinerary with us, you must pre-book your rest days. Absolutely no problem to put in extra nights in the kind of the more fun places or halfway. We have those highlighted, or just ask us where we think it would be the best for you to have a rest day. But if you walk in for 6 days, obviously the third or fourth day would be a good time to have a rest day, and it's great because you can rest and recuperate. Hard to get going then though afterwards, but yeah, you can.
Thank you. We have electric bike. Do the bikes ever get stolen? Is there any insurance company you would recommend to insure the bikes?
Um, so we provide electric bikes if should you want to rent them. I'm not saying that because you should rent them from us as opposed to taking your own. I'm just saying that because we've never had one stolen. So you need just to ensure it's locked or if you're in accommodation that they have somewhere safe to keep it. I have no idea about the insurance, to be honest with you. You need to go and research that.
Thank you. From Colleen, are the group tours mainly couples or solos, or is a mix?
Absolute mix. Yeah. And you will make friends, no problem whatsoever. If you're a solo traveler, they're fantastic things to join. Will have no problem making friends because everybody's doing the same activity at the same time. You'll just talk Camino and you'll make lifelong friends. And that's a promise. I've seen it, experienced it. Yeah, happens.
Thank you. Next one. One second. Does everyone in a group walk at their own pace?
Yeah, they do, which means the group will spread out, and that's encouraged as well. If you're in a group, let's say 12 people, there could be an hour, 40 minutes between the first and last person, but that's no problem. The guide will always look after you, will always be there. We'll have probably a WhatsApp group, and he'll always tell you where the stopping points are, where they're resting, where they're having lunch, and things like that.
Perfect. Are the cottages on the front desk from Sarrias far from the city center?
That can differ. Some are, some aren't. So it depends which ones you've booked. If they are too far off the route, we will pick you up, bring you to them, and then we'll pick you up and bring you back to the route as well. So we call those trail transfers. So we do that. It's all very well organized. It's all noted in your trip notes of who to contact, how to do it, where to meet them. Everything is very well organized in that respect.
Perfect. We have another one. I have booked with Camino Ways the full Camino from France. I haven't arranged where to be picked up. What is the better location for the transfer? Be rates
Yeah.
or by car?
Well, thank you for your booking and best of luck with the whole thing. So definitely Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port. The best arrival airport is Biarritz. It's about 45 minutes from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port. We can arrange private airport transfer, but there are buses and trains that'll take you to Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port as well. Okay, I
Thank
think
you.
we'll need to start wrapping it up, Martha. I know there's lots of questions coming in. I'm sorry we're not going to get to them all.
We have a
Um,
couple of them if you want a short ones, and then we wrap up.
yep.
Is it possible to work Sundays and then e-bike for other days?
Unfortunately not, no, because logistically it's not possible because we would have to transport the bikes on and off the trail. So it's either walking or cycling, I'm afraid. No.
Great. And the last one, do most people bring walking poles? Are they necessary?
I think if you're used to walking with walking poles, absolutely. They definitely help. They're a bit like four-wheel drive, if you like. They'll take a lot of pressure off your back and shoulders when you're walking. They'll assist you. They'll help you from not falling over. But if you haven't used walking poles, don't start using them when you get to the Camino because it does change your gait and your style of walking. So it's very important you train with walking poles before you go. Because if you just start using walking poles when you're on the Camino, your back will get very sore, your arms will get very sore because you're more upright and you're actually using your arms a hell of a lot more. So it will cause stiffness and soreness. So just be careful walking poles. If you haven't used them before, train with them before you go. It's very simple. You know, they're very simple to use. Just train with them before you go, and you'll understand what I mean when you start.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, everyone. That was the last one.
Okay, thank you all very much. Sorry, hopefully got to most of your questions. Sorry if we didn't. As I said, if we haven't, send us an email to info@CaminoWays.com. Just play around with our website. Go into www.CaminoWays.com and just you can make quotes yourself. And best of luck if you've booked. Best of luck with everything. Please ask us the questions. Send us emails. Call us. As I said, you can set up one-on-one video chats as well. If you're going into the schedule and you don't see one in the week that you're in, just go to the next week and the next week and the next week, and you'll get a slot because they are very busy. Most slots are full up, so you get to chat with myself or one of our team. So again, thank you very much for joining us. We had a huge crew in this evening. It is recorded, and Martha will be putting it up on our website and socials in the coming days. Edit out all my mistakes first. And thank you all. Have a good day, good evening, and good morning.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.